brothers of Division 32, the Seán MacBride Division, I couldn't let today pass without remembering by some token of appreciation that it is the 75th anniversary of the enactment of the Republic of Ireland Act, of which our namesake, Seán MacBride, was the architect of and the driving force behind. So in order to remember this, in a few moments, I'm actually going to share with you the radio speech that Seán MacBride gave on April 18th, 1949, as the Republic of Ireland Act was enacted. And you're going to hear actually from the man himself and hear his voice on that day. But before we hear from the man himself, I did want to provide just a little bit of context about what the Republic of Ireland Act meant and just some background so you understand what he's talking about in the speech. As you're all aware, we've talked about many times before, the 1921 treaty that concluded the Black and Tan War, the Irish War of Independence, was not accepted by a large section of the Irish population, particularly the men and women of the Irish Republican Army who had done most of the fighting. Part of this reason was the very obvious reasons that you can all immediately think about, which was the partition of the island with 6 northeastern counties still under direct British control. But part of the reason was the 26 counties in the rest of the island were still under indirect British control. So this did not set up an independent Southern Irish state or anything like it. It set up a state in the 26 counties called the Irish Free State. This state was still very much implicated and connected and tied into the British Empire. Members of Éireann, the Irish Parliament, had to take an oath of allegiance to the English king. The English king appointed a governor general who had to sign off on legislation in the 26 counties. The English maintained ports in the 26 counties, so they had military installations on Irish soil, on 26 county soil. So this was a very unsatisfactory resolution to the conflict in many ways, not only because of partition, most obviously because of the partition of the North off, but also in these other ways. So in the 1930s, anti-treaty political forces under Éireann de Valera won a series of elections in the 26 counties. And de Valera and his Fianna Fáil party, which came to power in the 1930s, started taking steps, one after the other, to dismantle these parts of the treaty and to restore the signs and symbols of Irish sovereignty to at least the 26 counties. So, for instance, the Oath of Allegiance was abolished. De Valera renegotiated control over the treaty ports. So one by one, these symbols of English authority and these real blocks of English authority were removed during the 1930s until eventually in 1937, a new Irish constitution, Bunreacht na hÉireann, was enacted by the Irish people of the 26 counties to fully restore sovereignty in the 26 county state. This did not affect what was going on in the north of Ireland. However, Articles 2 and 3 of the 26 county constitution did claim rights to Northern Ireland and did assert for the world that the 26 county state rejected the continued British jurisdiction over the 6 counties of the north. However, this constitution did not set up a Republic of Ireland. The name of the state that came in 1937 was in the English language Ireland, in the Irish language Éire. And it had all the forms and symbolisms of a republic, but it was not actually called the Republic. And in the 1940s, Seán MacBride was appointed Minister for Foreign Affairs, and he had this long history of being involved in Republican activities all through the 1930s. And when he came in to become Minister for Foreign Affairs, one of his priorities was to actually get this 26 county state to describe it as a republic, to assert the fact that he believed that Irish sovereignty was, he wanted to declare that to the entire world, have the world recognize that, and at the same time recognized that this did not extend to the 6 counties of Ireland, but by rights, the 26-county government was claiming the 6 counties. So that's some of the background for the speech that you're about to hear. And another thing that you're going to notice right away is the fact that you'll notice that Seán MacBride has a French accent. And I know that a few years ago at the founders meeting, I actually talked about a little bit about his biography and how he was raised in France. And his mother, Maud Gon, took him to France when he was very, very young. And he grew up learning English rather as a second language. And so he, throughout his entire life, up until his death in 1988, he spoke English with a French accent. So Seán MacBride, good Irishman, still spoke English with a French accent, and you're going to hear that now. So wanted to share that with you. Happy Republic Day, and I will see you all soon. Slán.
The Irish Republic was first proclaimed as far back as 1798. Since then, down to our own days, republicanism became synonymous with the movement for national independence. In 1916, the Republic was proclaimed and subsequently endorsed by the people. Easter Monday 1949 is memorable because on that day, for the first time in the history of the world, the Republic of Ireland will take her place among the nations of the world and be recognized internationally. That is the true significance of the coming into operation of the Republic of Ireland Act. Our joy on this occasion is marred, however, by the fact that 6 of our northeastern counties remain cut away from us. We hope that that will not be for long. The continuance of the present position is an obvious infringement of the fundamental democratic right to national self-determination. No nation in the world has more clearly defined boundaries than Ireland. Few have a more clearly defined national history or a more homogeneous population. If, therefore, democratic principles are to have any reality, then we must be allowed to have control of our own nation. Under our Constitution, the national territory consists of the whole island of Ireland, its islands, and the territorial seas surrounding it. The Republic of Ireland Act was passed with the unanimous support of all parties. No party can therefore claim it as its own. It belongs to the nation as a whole. I trust and pray that through wise and generous leadership on all sides, it will help to remove much of the bitterness and conflict that has existed within our own shores. On this occasion, I think that it is only right that we should pay a special tribute to those who in all generations have struggled and given their lives for the Republic of Ireland. Though thousands of miles away from you, my thoughts will be with you on Easter Monday, and in particular, with those who have made so many sacrifices in the years that have gone by.